Hello. Welcome to another episode of All or Not According to Jack with your host, Jack Toledano. And today I have a very special guest, Mr. Rick LaBonte, who he is appropriately wearing a Uriah Heep shirt because that's who we are going to discuss this evening. It was my plan was originally that it was going to be a top 15 songs, but uh, Rick said that it was too painful to only do 15, so we expanded it to 20.
That's
So,
right. And even that was difficult.
yep. How you doing, Rick?
Very good. I appreciate it. I mean, I was asked this show called All or Nada, right? And I almost went nada because this is so difficult. I mean, the band had 25 albums
Right.
and four great singers throughout the whole journey. And each decade brings a lot of great albums to the table. And it would probably have been easier for me if we ranked the albums
Right.
than songs because at least with albums there's a collection of songs
Right.
and then you can at least mathematically say, hey, out of 8 or 9 songs, six are
Well,
my favorite, whatever. But I think it's just as great. I'm glad that we're doing something like this to at least to acknowledge the work of what UI Heep have done.
yeah.
But to expand it was a little less painful. But I still made a list of 35 songs on here,
All
and I kept moving them down right up to the last couple hours, and we've been talking about this for a couple weeks now.
right.
So you can just show you how much agony it was.
Yeah.
But I wasn't gonna let you down. As a friend of mine, I was gonna definitely do this. But I did set up a little bit of a rule for myself that the top 20 wouldn't have more than 2 songs from that an album because I
Okay.
want to at least highlight many more of the stuff. I mean, this
Right.
the body of work is just fantastic.
Okay.
But I do want to recognize the 21st century Uriah Heep, the 90s Uriah Heep, the 80s Uriah Heep, as well as the classic Heep of the 70s. I
Right.
just wanted to highlight a little bit of all that. So if we get some good timing in, I'll talk about some songs that didn't make the cut. But so
Sure.
what we're gonna do is work on 5 songs at a time, right, my friend?
Yep, that's right. We're gonna do them in chunks of five. Rick's gonna go, then I'm gonna go, and I think you have the gist of it. But as for the ranking the albums idea, that's something that we could revisit in the new year, I figure, because
Sure.
I
That'd
have
be
to go back and listen to certain albums to do an effective ranking.
right on. Maybe we can bite our buddy Pete. He'd be
Yeah, well, didn't he do it already? He might have, but
might have
yeah.
for
Well,
sure. Okay, all right, so starting with 20, right?
yes.
So again, a lot of songs underneath that list are just as powerful. They all feel like they're a tie. But I had to put a little bit of as I was making my list here, I wanted to recognize certain album too, and this is one of them. This is what pretty much a song that reminded me of the days of Cream in the late '60s because it's on their first album of Very Heavy, Very Humble,
Nice. Yep.
and the song is Walking in Your Shadow.
Oh,
And I
very
love it the
good.
way the drum starts and the guitar comes kicking ass in and a great vocal line. But for a 3-4 minute song, it has a lot of cool changes and it's really catchy as hell.
All right.
The next one would be what I got is a song from Wonderworld. There's a lot of great songs you could pick from Wonderworld. The song itself is awesome. I think I had that like a number 31 or something like that. But anyway, I'm gonna pick So Tired because not only is it's a cool fast song, it had the signature stuff that they're known for, the driving bass, the vocal harmonies, and they even stop in the middle of a song where it's just all vocal and just ear candy stuff. And that was the thing about this band. Unlike Zeppelin and Black Sabbath and Deep Purple, unless you're talking about the David Coverdale and Glenn Hughes era, they didn't do a lot of backup vocals. And you're right,
Right.
he was one of those bands that was successful in adding those
And
harmonies.
that's why they stand out for me
Yeah,
because
and so even when you're making a list like this, a lot of these songs appeal to me in a different way. I love the ballads, I love the acoustic stuff, I love the
Mhm.
hard rock stuff.
Right.
So this what made the list so hard for me is that every I feel emotions with Uriah Heep, whether I'm driving a little more faster because the song kicking and pumping,
Right,
or you're feeling melancholy because they're so delicate and playing some beautiful passages of music. And then they also have that proggy sense in them
right.
that keep it interesting. So this next song would be 18 is more in the 90s where they had this song called Between the World uh, from Sonic Origami. And this is a real good album. And that song really stands out to me and as far as Between Two Worlds, sorry, it's called. And it's really great vocal. And like a lot of these songs you're going to see me pick, they're usually like the first song in the album. They usually come out of the gate just kicking ass all the time, or just grabbing your attention right from the get go. Um, so that was and then 17. I'll go to the Salisbury album, and one of the tunes that I like a lot is called "Bird of Prey." And Bird of
Wow.
Prey has that kind of that Iron Maiden would to be a
Yep,
template what Iron Maiden would sound like with all this stuff, but they had that Queen opera
yep,
harmony to it, vocal lines and that. And it's really cool, and it
yep.
feels like they use a double bass drum the way it comes in. But it's
Right.
a really a good, powerful song, and it's from the second album, and it was the one that opened the record. If you got the UK version of Salisbury, so Birds of Prey is that
Excellent
one is the
song.
next
Yep.
one, and this song again, another title track of the album, first song out of the gate of this record, and then from 1975, it's when um, they've got some changes in the personnel as far as bass player goes, right? John Wetton is in the band at this point, but Return to the Fantasy. And just the song itself, it's a way it
Right.
opens up an introductory, how the album come in. And I just love it. Because one of the things that's cool about Uriah Heep is all that cool keyboard stuff that Ken Hensley
Oh yeah.
is famous for. And it has all these nice, palettes that add a lot of texture to the music. And if you want to sound mysterious or you want to sound, um, you know, magical, mythical, he bring that presentation in there with all the layers of keyboard,
Oh
and
yeah.
not to mention
It's wonderful.
David Byrne delivery vocally, right?
Right.
Bringing it all in together. And so, and then we got that was one,
So I
yeah,
think
that
that
was
was number
65.
16.
Yep, yep,
Yep. Okay. So mine, unfortunately, I didn't cover all the albums, but I tried to cover as many as I could. And
hmm
because of the fact that uh, you insisted that we had to add 5 extra songs, I was able to get a song from Abominog in there. But
right on.
yeah, so okay, so number 20, and this is probably one of the second most popular played song on the radio, I think. Sweet Lorraine off of Magician's Birthday.
Great song.
Yes. Yes, it is. I had to get that in there somehow.
That's a
Number
party song. It's a
19,
good anthem song. It's on my list of 35, but
right. So number 19 is a song off of Salisbury that probably would not have made the cut, but now it's here. Uh, One of their quintessential, more melodic type songs, more prog songs, Lady in Black. And
nice.
I love that. Uh,
You can't go to a Uriah Heep show without them playing
yeah,
that at one
yep.
point in the night.
Okay. So number 18, and you know what? I absolutely fell in love with this album when it was released earlier this year. Chaos in Color.
Oh, beautiful.
Yes, amazing, amazing album. I've told a lot of people to give it a listen because it's just that damn good. Um, yes, actually, I have it too. Oh, it's somewhere in the corner, but so the kickoff track, Save Me Tonight.
Good choice.
Yes, great song. And there are more because
Oh yeah, they're
I
definitely.
absolutely love that album. Number 17, and I also love this album, Demons and Wizards, Rainbow Demon. Oh,
That's one of Pete's favorite songs. I think it is
it
his favorite.
is. It actually is his favorite.
Yeah.
I actually took some notes on on some of, what some of his and Martin's favorite songs are, and that is number one for him. Lady in Black was number 10 for him. Uh, this one didn't make either Martin or Pete's list at number 16. This is off of the first album. Very heavy, very humble, real turned on.
That's a great tune.
I love, I just love the slide guitar in that. And
I love all those little cool arrangements to change
and
it.
the
Another one.
complex chords he's playing. Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
Good
So
choice. Like, here's the thing. If I didn't set rules about how many songs I can pick from the record,
yeah,
uh, some of these would dominate a lot. But again, I wanted to splash. But I'm glad that you're bringing up these other songs because they're all great.
right.
It's the hardest thing. Again, people, 25 albums. We only got 20 songs.
Yeah.
25 albums. So there's 5 albums got to be left out some degree or
Well,
even more. And you don't own them all. So you're doing
right.
your best with what you know. I have them all, and I'm telling you, it's painful. So anyway, my next one, 15, is from the 1976 High and Mighty album. There's a lot of cool ones you can pick in there, but the one that really resonate with me because of the sound and the bold guitar and great vocals. It's just everything about it. It's awesome, and it's like a little snapshot of what the 80s were going to come up for being 76 because the way that tone is. But anyway, Weep in Silence.
Oh, nice.
Weep in Silence. I mean, it's, Misty Eyes are great. There's all kinds of great ones, Footprints in the Snow. But this one, that song, if I can only have one song out of this album, I got to have that one.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah, and so that was 15. 14, I'm going to Firefly, which is a great record. The first album without David Byron with John Lawton as a vocalist. And what a great, powerful vocalist he is. And the song that really, there's a couple that really, I would like, which one do I pick? Because I'm making room for other songs. Rolling On was a really good one, but I think the one that really showed me what a great vocalist he was and the dynamic and the power of that band was Been Away Too Long. It's a second track. Play it. If you haven't heard it,
Okay.
you can't help it. Where it's like, it had that power like Dio, and it had that power of
Right.
that, that vocal approach that was it's just firing at all cylinders, and the band is so tight. And this is also Trevor Boulder's first appearance as a bass player for Uriah
Nice.
Heep, and
Well,
he
we got
brings
to my next five. Firefly is in there. So, yeah.
right
Uh,
on, cool, right on,
Firefly song. Yeah.
right on. So now we're getting into more some of the more recent music in the 21st century. For this next one is Outsider, really great record. I like the Can't Take That Away. I think that's the one that really, every time I listen to this album entirely, I go away and that chorus is always playing in my head. And you know how that song can do that to you, leave that earworm in there and you can't let it go. These albums full of that, but it's got so much power. The band is modern and yet has all what you expect from Uriah Heep from the blast of the past, but it's definitely has the modern technology sound, and it really is incredible. So really great production is what I'm getting at. And then the next one is the latest album. Impressive when you think about how much albums to have, and yet the recent work still made an impact. In fact, in my list of 35, there's a couple of tunes from this
Nice.
album. But the one that made it in the top and is sitting at number 12, Hurricane. That song
Nice.
is great.
Awesome.
I love it. I mean, I love freedom to be free, and there's a lot of great ones, like the one you mentioned, Save Me Tonight. I couldn't argue with that, but I gotta say, Hurricane was just the way it's structured and in the composition of it all, the
Okay.
arrangement. It's just an amazing, and I'm so proud of this band
Yeah.
to still come up with the goods like this in
I am too. In
2023.
2023 to put out such an amazing album as that.
Really, yeah, and every song is so powerful. It makes it hard to
Right.
compete. And honestly, in a real, if the world was just musically, this should be one of the most played albums on the planet.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a shame
For
that
all its
he
power and
isn't.
all its
Yeah.
glory. Anyway, go to the next one is the album that um kind of the first album of many years where now you got a string of these albums that they're powerful, but the Wake of the Sleeper album,
No.
and on this record has a song called Overload, and I really like it a lot. But there's a lot of powerful songs here. But the one I thought that was the most accessible and catchy, and it would should got airplay here because it's that kind of those type of songs. I mean, every song I'm talking about today should be airplay because they are accessible. It's just that they're kind of a mystery or unknown or underground for this, for the common listener out there. But you and I know better, and this is a great record. If anybody want to check that out, 2008, I believe.
And what's the song?
The song again is Overload.
Overload. Okay, gotcha.
Okay, and that's number 11.
Okay. All right. So my number 15, I we talked about Abominog earlier. Uh the song that I picked off of Abominog is Too Scared to Run.
Nice.
Yeah, great song. Probably my favorite song of the album. I had a couple others that almost made the cut, but not quite. But yep,
Yeah.
Abominog.
I like the way it is, and there was a couple other songs, but that one's is a Uriah Heep song. That
Yeah,
is a Uriah Heep song.
right. So number 14, you mentioned Firefly.
Yes, I did.
So for me, I love this the beat, the way they put this together. Dun, 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 dun. Sympathy.
Great tune, buddy.
Do, 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 do,
It's
do.
awesome. I
Yeah.
have it at the number 21 or something like that. That
Oh
didn't.
wow.
That
Yeah,
was sitting right there.
that's a
But I
great.
can appreciate it, brother.
Yeah.
Good
Okay.
choice.
So now number 13, and this is actually Martin's number one, off of the album Look at Yourself, Shadows of Grief.
That's a pretty cool tune.
Yes.
I like other songs better, but I understand the appeal.
Yep. Okay, number 12. And again, I love this album, Demons and Wizards. Had to get this song in there. The kickoff track, The Wizard. I love that acoustic in the beginning.
Yeah, absolutely, buddy. Ear candy stuff. In fact, that was my, if I'm truthful, I think that was my first song I ever heard of Uriah Heep.
Really
Yeah,
interesting.
that got me into it. My friend was playing a cassette back to back, and it starts with the first song of the album.
Nice.
And
Very
then on the
good.
flip side with the Magician's Birthday album. And
Yep.
yeah, and then I heard the live record before I heard Look at Yourself. I heard those songs that were on Look at Yourself. So, but anyway, yeah, that's how that was my gateway with Uriah Heep, if I recall.
Okay. Very cool. So number 11, back to Chaos and Color.
Right.
And the song you picked, Hurricane.
Nice.
Yeah. You know
Good
what?
tune, eh?
I love that. It's almost like it has like a foreigner beat to it, like one of their, like almost like Double Vision. And dun, 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 dun. Yeah, I love their
Yeah,
heavier stuff. I love metal. I'm into their more up tunes. They're heavier. So that was a natural for me.
for
So
sure. For sure.
so that was my number 11. So
Okay, so now we're going down to the
starting with,
top 10.
yes, Rick's top
Uh,
10.
we're doing this pretty good considering how much info you can explain. But again,
Mm,
don't want to steal each other's thunder. But I'm glad that we do have a few songs that we didn't pick and a few songs we haven't in
right.
they
Yep.
get mentioned. The next one in number 10 is one of my favorite from the 90s of 1995, I believe it was, the Sea of Light album. And again, it's always the opening track, but it comes out right out of the barn gate with Against the Odds. Great vocal, great just the whole Uriah Heep approach on how you deliver a song.
There's a reason why these songs are kickoff tracks because, it's
Yeah,
the idea is for them to grab the listener right away.
right. And also they again they don't repeat anything they've done before, but it still has all the formula that their signature known for. So so if I'm gonna do the top 20, you got to be the signature Uriah Heep stuff for sure.
Right. Yep.
Right on, brother.
Okay. So what's your
Uh,
number 9?
so number 9 is something that I probably don't need to hear. But I could not, as a Uriah Heep fan, put it on. In fact, it's mandatory they play it live. But this song had to be on there from, and again, I'm restricting 2 songs from the album. And you know how many songs I love from Demons and Wizards? But I'm using Easy Living because it's
Yeah,
actually very sentimental to me because I got to sing this with Uriah Heep on
that's all.
Soundcheck and then do the encore with them in London Music Hall and in 2018. And so that song would always be so sacred. In fact, it could have been so because the memory is so important to me, and it could be almost very well be on the top.
It,
But it's definitely in there. Just that I know there's stronger songs than that song, but it's such a powerful 3-minute song that has everything you want. How the moving parts with the bass line, incredible drum shuffle to all that, but the vocals is just the signature part about it. But I'm really emotionally attached because as much as I've heard it so many times, I still don't. It still moves me, and
all right.
having that experience with Uriah Heep, you can check it out on YouTube. I got to do it sound check.
That's
It
very
was an
cool.
incredible experience.
So I was telling Rick, I think off camera, that I had to take my daughter to the airport just before, doing this recording. And I was telling her about what I was going to be covering tonight and how you played with Uriah, he pulled you on stage. I didn't know it was Easy Living, but I remember you telling me that they pulled you on stage. That's very cool. And that is probably their most known song and their most played, song on the airwaves. So
Yeah, I mean, they wouldn't have a greatest hit album without that song for
no,
sure.
definitely not.
And that also go to the next song. And again, it's not because it's the most strongest song, but it has this dynamic and powerful presentation, but it's well known and it's very popular. And that would be from the Sweet Freedom album, Stealing, right? And
Oh,
it's a,
love that song.
that song is incredible, right? Do I think it's like the best composition they ever done? No, but it has all the things that make you tap your toe, get it into, or you want to sing along, air guitar, or just the fact they had that just a dramatic intro and
I
then
love
come
that.
back
I
in the
love
middle
that
of it just
line that
before
he
the lead
says.
solo. It's great.
I love that line that he says, done the rancher's daughter, and I sure did hurt his pride. Ha ha. Love
Yeah,
it.
it's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and then the vocal and the great guitar line. I mean, it's a great. And then having, it's a crowd pleaser to have everybody sing along,
Yeah.
"Stealing when I
Yes.
should have been by," And so that got to be fun. And I've done it live, and so I enjoy performing
Okay.
that
Cool.
song more than listening to it because it's so see the crowd participate to that song is absolutely fun.
We may be talking about that one a little bit later.
Right on. Okay, next moved on being restricted to how many times I can use a song on an album because I do like a lot of these songs. I'm going to pull up The Magician's Birthday, and I had to pick some song that describe Uriah Heep as the one of setting out the mood and mystery and some of the other stuff about their music. Echoes in the Dark.
Okay.
I love the way that song changes every time they bring it to them. They add some more thing to it, or add the vocals, or they change the tempo slightly a little bit. But it keeps building with layers and layers of these cool dubs of keyboard, vocals, whatever it is, to grab this, the dynamic that they have to make it so dramatic. And it's David Byron as his fine form really delivers the good on the vocally, and that's awesome. Number 6 is
Okay.
one of
Yeah.
my favorite albums. And this is just like the last one, I gave it a high rating too. I mean, people are thinking about how we view this record. But from Living on a Dream, from the 2018 album, this is the first song on that album, Grazed by Heaven,
Nice.
written by my friend David Rimmer and Jeff Scott Soto, who wrote the one that you mentioned, Save Me Tonight. From
Right.
and they penned that one, and what a great live staple that could be. And I haven't, to see them perform that, I have seen them do it a couple of times. It's now on their set list because I just saw a set list of they're in South America right now, and this song is on it. In fact, they opened the show with it.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, it's a very great song, and it's awesome that it's at number six for me, showing you that the newest material is still that strong that should
Yeah.
be recognized.
I had considered Grace by Heaven, but unfortunately that was on the cutting room floor. So
That's cool. We
I
get it.
considered it. But okay, so that was your number six?
Yes.
Okay, so I was another thing I was telling Rick off camera before we started. So when I took my daughter to the air and her fiance to the airport, I put together a top 20 Uriah Heep in Spotify so I could listen to it and just kind of get into the groove for for the show that we're doing. And quiz quick quiz for everybody. What number song did I go to JFK and come back and pull into my driveway? What number song was ending? And I will reveal that in time. So that's the question.
Okay.
Okay, so my number 10, which you mentioned, Easy Living, Demons and Wizards.
Nice.
Okay, number 9, I did pick a song off of Living the Dream, Goodbye to Innocence.
Oh, great.
Yep, love that song. That was
Bernie
probably
Shaw helped that. The lead singer had to help write that song with Mick Box, I believe,
my,
and Lawson.
yeah, yep. Okay, number 8. Uh this is probably going to be my last one off of Chaos in Color, and this is my favorite song off the album, You'll Never Be Alone.
Nice. That is a powerful song.
Yeah, I love that swirling piano and that swirling uh um Hammond that
Organ, yep.
winds it up into a crescendo at the end.
Nice.
Yeah,
This album is amazing. I mean,
yeah,
I think it feels like a Uriah Heep concert because they're open strong, has all the things you need in a
yep.
Uriah Heep concert and come out strong too. So it's a really powerful record.
Okay, so number 7, back to Demons and Wizards, and probably my favorite song off of Demons and Wizards. The second song, Traveler in Time.
Awesome.
Yes, love that song. It had to be close to the top.
Mm-hmm.
6, this is a song that I just found recently, and again I fell in love with it. This is off of Look at Yourself, uh, Tears in My Eyes.
Right on, brother.
So when I first saw the title, I'm like, oh, it's probably one of those sappy ballads, but no, it's hard rock. And again, more great slide guitar in that
Yeah,
song.
that's the keyboard player off the keyboard playing Ken Hensley playing the slide. So
Oh,
there's
nice.
actually two guitar players playing in that song. And that's kind of a signature thing they do in many albums, have a couple of songs where Ken will pick up the slide
Right.
and join like a guitar party for a Uriah Heep tune. He
Oh,
doesn't
yeah.
always.
That's great
Yeah,
song. Yes. So,
very awesome.
okay, drum roll for our top 5.
Yes.
I am very
Anyway,
excited
these
to your
songs that
top
have
5.
been mentioned, a couple of them anyway, by you already, and they're in my top five. For number five, Too Scared to Run.
Okay,
And
very nice.
I really like that song, really catchy, and I look forward to it when they play it. I seen them out 1990, 2018, 2019, 2019. Yeah, 4 times. I mean, I feel like I've seen them a lot more because I got all these live concert DVDs. Like it's
Wow.
so many, so many. If
Man, I
you
might
really
have to
want to
buy
find
some of
Uriah
those.
Heep, look at it.
Wow.
I'm telling you, brother.
Holy
I
shit.
I'm a Uriah Heep fan. Like you can just the DVDs. I haven't got into the CD DVD combo where they put out over the years. If you
So
want
what,
to get
here's a
concerts,
question for you.
yeah.
What country would you say they have the most ticket sales in?
Well, I think it's Europe. You know, going through Europe, Germany for sure, UK. I think Japan is good business. South America is good business. More
I
so
heard there are
than
some
North
countries where
America.
they can book stadiums and arenas.
Well, they're a big drawn act for a lot of festivals. If you
Right.
look at a lot of festivals, they are one of the top billing headliners
Yes.
for Judas Priest. They're underneath Judas Priest at a couple of
Right.
shows.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they're still a big draw, but the hard rock metal crowd, of
They
course.
played by me a few years ago and I couldn't go, but I was really kicking myself. It was them and UFO together. I really wanted to see that, but fortunately I did see Uriah Heep once at a place in New York City that now defunct, but a place called BB King's.
Mm.
I believe I was with Pete for that show and one or two other of our mutual friends, but
What year would that be?
I'd have to say, I don't know, early 2010s. Yeah,
Well, probably for the Wake of Sleeper album tour.
might have been. Yeah,
Yeah, and there's a lot of great live material of them that have been coming over the years that you can get that, wasn't available when I was collecting vinyl back in the day.
right.
So anyway, so my number four is off the album you
Remind me,
mentioned.
I'm
Hmm?
sorry, your number five
Number
again,
five
you
was
said was
Too Scared to Run.
okay, good.
Yeah,
Okay,
you mentioned that already. And another one you mentioned is my number four. And again, because I only allowed two songs per album, because it's hard. Because I mean, July Morning is in there, my list, but I had to pick Tears in My Eyes over that.
nice.
I did pick, so it's just the way it is. I got Look at Yourself on that list, and
Yep,
every time I
yeah,
try to move things around, but that one still high I have high regard for because of the arrangement and the vocal harmony stuff and the little wah wah stuff he does in the middle of it.
right.
So cool tune. And they deliver that song live incredible. A good version of this is on that one right here.
Okay, awesome.
The next one, number three, is the song that got me into the band, The Wizard. It's
Nice.
too powerful. I never get sick of it, and I think it's just the production was so fantastic for 1972. This was a very amazing achievement, and especially when you think about how much work they put out. They put another album out the same year, and a really good one at that, The Magician's Birthday.
Right.
So they no rest for the wicked. This band was producing a lot of good work. And then my second choice is an album we haven't mentioned. I had to make sure I acknowledge it from the Innocent Victim album, 1977. Look at the album that followed Firefly. Okay, same year, two albums again. This band,
Right.
and they have a song that is it's just free and easy. It's like a communication breakdown kind of guitar riff. One
Yeah. Yep.
of my favorite tunes. It's so much energy. It's
Yep.
everything we like about metal. You can't drive with that song on without expecting it influencing the gas pedal. It's definitely it's a powerful song.
That is
Great
a great
vocal,
song.
great band, and it's one of my favorite. I discovered it much later as a collector. I was just learning that David Byrne was in that band, so I was apprehensive of grabbing new material, and I'm glad I did because these guys were great, especially Bernie Shaw's period, who is a fellow Canadian that ended up living out there. But yeah, Innocent Victim. Well, what a sweet song to have, free and easy, and just a
Great freaking
great
song.
tune.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that leads it to the very final one for me. And I'm gonna grab the album. And I think the reason why I picked this, because of all the concerts I saw the same night that I got to sing with the band, they
Right.
played this song, and I always thought, wow, imagine hearing this live. They did it once in this video, and so I saw them do it, and in fact, they call it the Magician Birthday Party, and they brought guests like Ken Hensley and other John Lawton and others to come and perform it. And that's what I'm talking about. The number one song for me is the Magician's Birthday. It's the
Nice.
total epic. Got a great guitar solo, drum solo. It has awesome vocals. It's a story. It's a play. It's like they even have in the middle of the song the magician versus the wizard, and they were having their talking about I would cast a spell and I would use my sword of hate and then going back and forth, left and right in the speakers as a role playing part. And in fact, when you see this concert, they have John Lawton and Bernie Shaw singing those separate lines like they are characters of that song. Now, I mean, the magician birthday, happy birthday part, obviously not nothing special, but just the fact that that band wrote a song, a little epic that has all these creative changes, shows off the vocal, shows their ability to play as a guitar player and drummer because it's a really good spot with Mick and Lee Kerslake just jam for a while. And it's just one of those things that you can't help visualize a battle because that whole guitar drumming segment in a solo is almost like there's a battle between this wizard and this magician. So you can just use your imagination. And as a kid, I did such thing. And I always thought this would be a great animated film if they did that in the background while they're performing this stuff. Maybe using these various character, that guy versus that evil dude up there. Maybe he's the Rainbow Demon from the other album. Bring the wizard and whatever. I don't know, but I'm just saying that is to me shows you how creative they are. That they could put a whole song and it felt like a concept album throughout the whole record because they had that tone right from the song Sunrise right to the end of that record. So anyway, to me, it's one of my favorite because I think it's like the Who's Won't Get Fooled Again. It's their epic chasma for Led Zeppelin or all those bands that have one of those songs like Iron Maiden, Rhyme of the Ancient Minor or something like that, where it's an
Yep. Right.
that has so much into it, and to me, that's Uriah Heep.
Okay. Very cool. All right.
All
So,
right, let's hear your last five, buddy.
okay. So number five, you mentioned already, and this is again, I fell in love with this band because I just love their vocals and their harmonies.
Right on the
Eric
harmony.
Gray
Awesome.
off of Salisbury, yeah,
Nice.
and you got that Hammond to start things off, and then what you said, the operatic, I can't do that. Ooh, ooh, ah, ah, ah. They do. Of course, they do it a lot better, but I loved
Yeah,
it. And so number four, off of Innocent Victim, I have to give Mr. Pardo credit for turning me onto this song. I was watching one of his episodes where he talked about a dream set list of Uriah Heep, and
oh
this,
yeah, I was on that show with him.
yes, it's the song that you mentioned, "Free and Easy." I checked
Right
it
on.
out. I fell in love. I mean, that's for me, that is the quintessential heavy song. I just love
Me
those
too.
those riffs that just rip your face right off.
Right on. It
Yeah,
does. It does. It's the way. It's true. It's true.
right. So my number three, you mentioned, off of Sweet Freedom, "Stealing." Love "Stealing." I love that bass, do do do, in the beginning, and
Yeah,
and he's talking about doing the rancher's daughter, which I love, and then it gets very heavy. So
that's right.
I love that driving beat. So
Right on.
okay,
Incredible bass playing from Gary Thane.
so number two and number one, this was difficult, and these are my favorite songs. Going back to very heavy, very humble for Gypsy.
Nice.
Yeah,
Gypsy's on my list, but it didn't make the
yeah,
20. I think
yeah,
I've heard it so much and something had to go.
yeah. But
Well, I'm glad you mentioned it because Gypsy is a popular staple for them. In fact, very rare in every show I've ever seen them do, they always play Gypsy. The
you know,
shows that I have, that is a signature.
gotta love that. So years ago, and I like Deep Purple. They're one of my top bands, and I wanted another band that I could enjoy, with the Hammond organ, just like Deep Purple. And Uriah Heep was really the one that's from that era.
Mm-hmm.
Has some songs that are very heavy, and and I love that Hammond throughout the whole song. But yeah, just again, do 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 do. It's simple but airy, but you know what? It just commands your attention.
Oh, it is, and it's a very dramatic song.
Right.
You can picture the the turmoil that the singer is David is persuaded by, from the father of his woman that another like getting himself in trouble with
Yes.
the
Right.
daddy situation.
Took me to a little shack, put a whip
Whip
across
across
my
my
back.
back.
Yeah. Yep. Okay, so my number one, only maybe what, 2 years after Gypsy came out, the title track of "Look at Yourself."
Right on, brother.
Yes, that's my
It
number
has to
one.
be mentioned, and that's a powerful
Yes,
song. I think my favorite version is the album live where he get the crowd to stand up, clap, and then look at yourself, and then
right.
into that tune.
Yes.
It's
So
awesome.
it looks like I went for the more classic Heap, where you dig deeper into their
Why
character.
that was the part of that was making me important, but now we did it so quickly. I can make some honorable mention. Like you said, if
Absolutely.
I was breaking rules, I some of these songs albums would have 3 or 4 songs from it. 'Cause
Yes.
it's so good, so I had to restrict it. But what I didn't mention was still some good stuff, like from Raising Silent, More For You. Great album. First one for Bernie Shaw as a vocalist, and he's been the longest standing lead singer. I mean, 30 years with the band. And then I'm Alive, the album we didn't mention, is from Fallen Angel. Great, powerful tune.
Yep.
Again, it's one of those driven tunes, right? But a lot of great songs. There's
Yep.
another album could worth mentioning, Into the Wild. And you noticed a lot of them are signed because they're friends of mine. They
Oh,
signed it.
nice.
But Nail on the Head.
Oh,
Again, opening track of the album, Kick
so
That.
you showed that picture. That looks like that was my wife and I went there. That looks like uh Monument Valley Tribal Park in just on the Utah Arizona border, it looks like.
Wow.
Yeah. I think I could be wrong, but that
I
wasn't
know.
that wasn't a lake there, was it?
Pardon me?
That wasn't a
Oh,
lake pictured on there,
yeah,
was it?
no, yeah, there's a body of water there.
Oh,
Yep.
okay. So then I was thinking of a different album, but
Okay.
yeah.
And then they have Living in a Dream. They have the song called Take Away My Soul.
Yep.
Powerful. I
Yes.
had Look at Yourself, Circle of Hand, July Morning, Traveler in Time, a lot of these songs, but I didn't want to have the usual suspect dominating the list, so I had to
Right.
share that. But there's other songs that are worth mentioning. Sympathy, as you mentioned, Wonderworld, 1 Minute from the Outsider record, another good one. Gypsy, of course. Time to Live from Salisbury, great tune. Another band did it, a cover of that Spiritual Beggar that Pete got me into, and they do a good cover of that. And then lastly, number 35 was Freedom to Be Free and Colors and Chaos. So you can see that it was hard to ignore a lot of this records because there's just so much, 25 strong albums. And I'm not going to say they don't have a couple albums that are not as strong as others, but for the most part, the 21st century stuff and the stuff of the 90s, and then that big block of this whole 70s, they're all good stuff. There's only a couple albums of the 80s that they lost their identity a little bit. Equator might come to mind and a couple songs. But for the most part, Uriah Heep always delivered the goods. They always got good stuff. Just people don't know that they still got a lot of new good gems out there. And I think you and I demonstrated, the whole anthology of Uriah Heep's well enough that if people didn't check out those songs and they did, they agree that they should be, more appreciated.
Right.
They are an underrated band.
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, it breaks my heart that they weren't bigger in the States than I think they should be.
Agreed.
But I will say this though. So I saw the Who at Madison Square Garden with a couple of my lodge buddies, and they actually played one of the Uriah Heep songs
Oh
before he
yeah,
came on stage, and I think it might have been Gypsy or Look at Yourself, one of the two. But
right on.
so it just goes to show they're held in high regard by the Who. So,
I think a lot of people don't know anything past the best of Uriah Heep albums, or if they just know the 70s, they wouldn't know that they got good at their craft. Mick Box knows what people expect from a Uriah Heep band, and
Right.
also they went with technology. So as more better technology comes out, better at delivering the goods live and on album. People don't know that, but they wouldn't unless they check it out themselves. They'd be impressed with these stuff. And so, yeah, David Byron is a classic period of the band, but it's like really 1970 to 76.
Yeah.
And why just leave it for that window of our albums? Why not check
Well,
out what they were capable of?
that's
And you
part of
won't be
that.
disappointed.
Part of that discussion that Pete had with his ensemble cast there, where they talked about imploring people to listen to some new music. And you know what? Thank God I did, because that Chaos in Color album is just phenomenal.
Right on.
Every song. I mean, there is not one stinker on that album.
Okay, so what happened now? Do you reveal your what number of the song?
Yes. I thought about that while you were talking. Yeah. So yes, it was actually the closing notes of Gypsy, my song
Nice.
two. Yes. So
Number two.
well, and Long Island and New York City traffic is what pushed it to number two. I went from 20 down to number two. So, and I
Right
was
on.
actually worried that I wasn't going to get back in time for this, but thankfully I did. So, needless to say, we had to order out dinner tonight. So, tell us about what you're up to these days, Rick.
Well, I'm been doing, still performing with these the band of brothers I got playing my original music and whatever I want to play. I got the blues side that's still going very well. I did record with Jim Baki and Louis Nasser and Derek.
Iranian. Yes.
Yeah, from the
Talked
X
about
Street
that. Yeah.
Theater and Sons Apollo, and that was cool. Have them playing keyboards and mood or mode synthesizer on one of my tunes called "Hang On," and I got to play harmonica on one of Jim's songs for his latest project called Max Boogie Overdrive on a tune called "Bomb Incoming." So again, if it wasn't for me hanging out with you guys in October of last year, where I had a chance to open up for Pat Travers and Vanilla Fudge, and I hang out with you guys.
Yes.
That was a highlight.
That
You
was
and I
really
were
nice.
became
That
fast friends. You and I hung out quite a
Yep.
bit, and so it's kind of nice to, able to get them playing on my music,
Really
right?
cool
So it's
that
kind of cool.
you pulled that off. It was you, it was Luis Nasser and Eric
Eric
Porter.
Porter,
Yes.
yes.
So the fact that you guys were able to pull that together in what, under a week?
Well, they had a week notice of what's
Yeah.
tuned, and then I threw them some songs of my original, and we picked some covers just to help pick some stuff that we knew. Um, but yeah, we had our dress rehearsal, like a rehearsal in the dress room
Right. Yeah.
outside, as you recall,
Yep.
and
I hung out a
just went
little
through
bit.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Took a couple pictures. Yep.
yeah, right on, brother.
Yep. So that was very cool.
Yeah,
So one thing you didn't know, I didn't tell you earlier. So I am this close to my 200th episode. So
right on.
I am going to use this as my 200th episode. I have another episode in the can that I'm going to put up live, and then this is going to be 200. So I was
Cool.
debating whether to use this as the 200th episode or my December 15th episode. So December 15th is an important day because, hello, it's my second anniversary. So
Right on.
I'll have to come up with another idea. I didn't want to have you wait a whole week, week and a half to put this up, because this is primo stuff we're talking about here. You know, one of the greatest bands. So,
Agreed.
and I hold you in high regard. So there you go. My
Thank
200
you very much.
my 200th episode. So
Right on. All nada.
all or not, according to Jack. And I just want to thank all the thousands of people that came and watched my Kiss video. With Pete Pardo, his brother Rich Catino, my buddy Ove Rendem from Norway. We had a good time talking about growing up as Kiss fans. We also talked about some not so good moments. And a not so good moment we talked about at the end with that Avatar idea. I'm like, that just blows my mind.
Well, we gotta check that out, folks, if you haven't.
Oh yeah, but yeah, that just could you imagine Uriah Heep having avatars play for them or holograms or what have you?
No,
Yeah. Let's go back to the 1970s and have a David Byron hologram, you know? Yeah. You know what? There's nothing like seeing the real thing.
that's right.
Yeah.
And all good things must pass.
Right. Yeah. I
It
mean,
happens.
I was just talking to a coworker today. We were reminiscing about having seen Rush a few years back, and all I can say is thank God I did get to see them that one time when Neil was still alive. And you know, it would for me it would cheapen the experience if you have a robot or playing with two other live guys. It's just
You don't need to go
astounds me.
spend money to go see something that's not real. You can
Yeah.
stay and watch a movie at home or whatever.
And then what are they going to charge for that? Is the other thing. That's
Yeah.
when I'm really going to have a good laugh when I see what they charge for this experience. Yeah, but so that's that. Anything else you want to say, or any other
No,
project?
we're good. If anybody wants any of my stuff, go on ricklabonte.com. There's a web page that has some of my music, and I'm working on some videos that I'll be releasing just to get caught up. There's so many songs on that record that it was the hardest thing was to market, living it up was because there's like 12 songs on a double album each. And it's been played all around the world for different reasons.
That's awesome.
Some of the pop songs, some of the proggy rock songs or heavier songs.
This is getting
It's depending
airplay,
on the geography, it has a different response. It's
and this is getting
incredible.
airplay.
Oh yeah, I got a
That's
18
awesome.
out of 24 songs been played on the radio or
Wow,
around the world, and
awesome,
locally or from New York, Texas, quite a bit.
cool. I'm
Yeah,
happy to say I know you. All
right on.
right. So for Rick LaBonte, this is Jack Toledano speaking for All or Nada. If you like what I do, please subscribe. I want to thank everybody that I picked up as subscribers for our Kiss video, and much appreciated. And welcome aboard for the ride. I hope to pick up some more. Thousand, here we come. Hopefully, I want to get there. So,
Right on.
all right. So, have a good night, all, and we'll be
Take
seeing you
care.
soon. And next time we get together, hopefully we'll be able to do the Uriah Heep albums. So ranking the albums. So this was a lot of fun. So thanks, Rick.
You're welcome.
All right. Have a good night, all. Bye.